This is Aatrox, the Darkened Blade. A fallen god warrior bound to an ancient weapon, Aatrox is hellbent on bringing total obliteration upon everyone who crosses his warpath. He's an unstoppable juggernaut that dishes out massive damage with mid-ranged attacks, fighting till death, and then some. Welcome to the Aatrox Champion Spotlight. Aatrox's passive is Deathbringer stance. Every once in a while, Aatrox's next basic attack has increased range and damages the target for a percentage of their maximum health. This attack also reduces all healing and shielding on the target for a few seconds. Deathbringer stance's cooldown is slightly reduced whenever Aatrox activates an ability, and additionally when he lands the edge of his Q, the Darkened Blade, on a champion. Speaking of which, let's talk about his Q, the Darkened Blade. Aatrox swings his greatsword up to 3 times. Each cast increases in damage and impacts a different area of effect. His Q has a sweet spot. Precise hits with the Darkened Blade further increase the damage and knock up targets. On the first cast, the sweet spot is at the very tip. On the second, it's along the outer edge. And on the final cast, it's at the very center, immediately in front of Aatrox. Each cast of the Darkened Blade brings the hitbox closer to Aatrox, so keep advancing to go 3 for 3. Each Q also increases the damage, regardless if you landed the previous one, for about twice as much on the final cast. Now that's what I call tons of damage. Aatrox can be a real bastard sword in lane. The range on his Q lets him poke, punish, and push lane against melee and even mid-range foes. You know what they say, 2-handers are better than 1. Aatrox W is Infernal Chains. Aatrox smashes the ground, damaging and slowing the first enemy hit. If it's a champion or large monster, they're chained to the impact area. If they don't leave the area to break the tether, they're dragged to the center and take damage again. If they break free, they'll be insubordinate and churlish. Infernal Chains pulls enemies to the same spot every time, uses to tee up a Q for the perfect smackdown. Aatrox's E is Umbral Dash, which can store up to 2 charges. Passively, Aatrox heals for a portion of the physical damage he deals. When activated, he dashes a short distance and gains attack damage for a few seconds. You can Umbral Dash in combination with his other abilities to reposition, helping you land abilities like the sweet spot of the Darkened Blade. Umbral Dash is usually too short, much like the real dash, to be used for chasing or escaping, but it's just enough to get you over some walls. Ta-da! Use Umbral Dash mid-swing to match your opponent's movements and claim more Q hits. Aatrox's ultimate is World Ender.
Did you think you could kill me?
Aatrox unleashes his full might, becoming monstrous in size and taking flight on massive wings. As he transforms, Aatrox fears nearby minions and briefly increases his movement speed. The speed bonus is reactivated while out of combat. While transformed, Aatrox's attack damage is increased and he gains a blood well that revives him if he takes lethal damage. The blood well fills up over World Ender's duration, meaning the longer you've transformed, the more health you'll have upon reviving, as long as you die before you return to your puny humanoid form.
I do not die!
With World Ender, you can really wing it. The extra damage and revive means you can tower dive with impunity. When you're far away from the fight, you can ult early to give your doom some zoom, and arrive while the party is still going strong.
Your screams will be like the soothing hum of insects and dust.
When you're ready to bring ruin, go big with World Ender. Once you're in the war zone, lock down lesser warriors with Infernal Chains and make them cry with a QQQ. As chaos unfolds, use Umbral Dash and Flash to stay on top of your fodder and treat him to the sweet spot of your blade. Don't bother running from a Darken, none can escape Zerath. Thanks for tuning in to the Aatrox Champion Spotlight.
Crush these links below or be annihilated.